So welcome, and let's get started. Let's see. Move this back up. So why Bsba, or basically like why did we start? What's the reason? What's the importance or significance to Bsba as well? Well, obviously, congrats. You guys are all part of the #1 public university in the world, UCLA. And it's also located in the sports entertainment capital of the world, of Los Angeles. So the one issue, as you guys may have all noticed, is UCLA doesn't offer any majors or minors, basically specifically catered to the sports worlds. And so that's, I guess, an unfortunate reality for a lot of us. Like there's no specific classes for sports administration, marketing, or kinesiology, or sports law. And so that's exactly why we created Bsba. And so it's be able to utilize that passion that we all have, connect us with that network, bring in speakers and all these things so that we can basically pivot into the sports world after we graduate. So the mission for Bsba, it was created, like I said, as a space to connect you all the students with knowledge, people, and the companies that will help you prepare for a career in the sports world after college. If you haven't already kind of picked up on, the college setting in the college world is vastly different than the working world, the professional world, once you graduate. So taking classes and different things like that are obviously helpful in setting yourself up for a career, but actually learning what it's like to be in that position or that specific role that you might be interested in is super beneficial to learn. So that's exactly why we offer that with Bsba as well. And that's our mission, is to be able to connect you guys with the actual resources that you need for that as well.
All right, Christina, do you see the full screen thing right there on the bottom?
And oh yeah, right here.
Yeah.
Oh, perfect. Thanks. So going on, so the roster, of course, for the Sports Business Association. So we have a lot of sports metaphors. My name, like I said, is Christina Chenault, and I'm the acting current president of Bsba. So a little fun fact, I am a first year graduate student actually. And I guess the reason why I'm also on the track and field team, I'm a heptathlete. The reason why I'm a grad student right now is because I graduated my undergrad in winter 20. So fortunately, right before COVID hit, I didn't have to do Zoom University in spring. But at the same time, unfortunately, my senior year got canceled, or my senior season got canceled for track. But things once again came back in my favor, and I was able to get my eligibility back, like a lot of spring sports were. And so I took that opportunity to apply to grad school. I got in, and so I'm back. I'm excited to be here, and I'm excited to bring back Bsba as well. So I'm currently the first year at or in the education school. I'm in a sports educational leadership program right now through UCLA. So that's pretty exciting. Like I said, I finished my undergrad in winter 20, and I finished that with a psychology major and African American studies minor. However, my passion is really in sports marketing. And once again, there just wasn't really a specific major for that. But that didn't really necessarily do me any disservice being a psych major. Based on the experience I was able to get and leverage that. So I was on the athletic director's honor roll throughout my time at UCLA as an undergrad. And I was still able to get experience. I started my own actual sports media platform my sophomore year called Top 5 Media, and we'll throw all those information and links to the chat so you can check that out. And basically the reason why I started that, for some of the athletes that might be on this call, is you probably know the perception of being a college athlete is vastly different than what the reality is. I mean, even my expectation going into UCLA as an athlete, I thought it was super glamorized. I thought about all the gear that you get and just like the excitement of being a college athlete. But as a lot of athletes may know on this call, it's just very exhausting, and it's not actually that glamorized of a lifestyle when you're living it out. And so I wanted to show that counter narrative of what it was really like being a college athlete at UCLA and a few other schools. So I sat down, interviewed athletes. So you guys can check all of that out. But part of that reason too, and part of that lens that I had as a college athlete, was the reason why I helped found and create Bsba too. I realized there wasn't a space that really facilitated conversation between students and other athletes on campus. And so I wanted to facilitate all of that, create a group where we all could basically merge together, bridge that gap of indifference, and basically learn from each other as well. So that's also part of the reason why I helped create Bsba as well. So then also going into my experience, last summer, I was a digital brand marketing intern at Nike at their headquarters in Beaverton, Oregon. And that was an amazing experience. Absolutely love the company. Would definitely want to work there post grad. And then also the year previously to that, or the summer, I was able to intern for Under Armour, and I was a sports marketing intern there as well. So definitely reach out if those are companies you're also interested in. But I loved them, both amazing companies, really like that experience. And last but not least, I am a Bay Area native. So shout out to anyone else who's from the Bay that's here. It's the best place in the world, in my opinion. And yeah, so we'll go on and we're going to introduce two of the vice presidents as well.
Hi, everyone. My name is Hillary Fu, and I am one of the vice presidents for Bsba this year. I unfortunately am not a student athlete, but I like to say that I am a redshirt senior certified friend of student athletes. It has truly been an honor here at UCLA to meet incredible athletes and become friends with the majority of them, just because, like Christina said, you don't really recognize the true struggles that they go through, maintaining high GPAs and training in their sport for 6 hours a day, and especially those who wake up at 5 a.m. every morning, when us regular students do not. I am a history and sociology double major. So unfortunately, like Christina said, UCLA doesn't have a sports management program. So I chose the two majors that I believe fit well with what I'm interested in sports. This summer, I was fortunate enough to be the extern for Fox Sports, and that was with the whole nationwide Fox Sports, and that was so incredible, meeting so many great people. And I am also the UCLA women's tennis team manager for a year now, and I'm also a part of the United States Tennis Association SoCal. I've been there for a year, and if you didn't know, that is a NGB, which is a national governing body, and it's one of the largest in the country. My main interests in sports pertain to operations and community relations. My passions stand with bringing access and equity to all youth with sports. And I am also from the Bay Area, so specifically Daly City, which is right next to San Francisco. So I like to say I'm from San Francisco.
Hi, everybody. I'm the other vice president. My name is Collin Flintoft. I'm a third-year football student athlete here, studying political science. And like Christina, I'm also a member of the athletic director's honor roll. So we got some smart people in this club. Some experience I have bringing to the table is this past summer, I worked for West Coast Sports Associates as a strategic planning and social media intern. And that was a really good experience. West Coast Sports Associates is a large nonprofit here in SoCal that's been around for 25 years that goes through hundreds of thousands of dollars each year with funding to try and help make youth sports possible for economically disadvantaged youth. And the summer before that, I worked for Brooks Insurance Agency as a sales and marketing intern, which was another good experience, getting to work in an actual office space. This past summer that was virtual, which, it's fun and all that, but learning in person in an office space is very good as well. And with regards to Bsba, I'd say my favorite part about it is that one of my goals is to work in the front office of a professional sports organization in the NFL or NBA. And I feel that if I can synthesize my passion for sports into a viable career, then I wouldn't even consider it a job. There's a quote by Mark Twain when he once said that find a job you enjoy doing and you will never have to work a day in your life. So that's kind of a motto I live by and is a main reason why I went out of my comfort zone of just like my sports world and classes to join a thing like Bsba so I can be a part of that and work towards accomplishing these goals. And I know we got a lot of Bay Area love in here, but I'm here to represent my LA people.
And then we're going to go and introduce a few other members of the executive board. So Once again, with sports metaphor, this is our starting lineup, starting with Johnny.
Hi, everyone. My name is Johnny Dalsey. I am going to be serving as our treasurer, and this is going to be my second year in this position. I love this club. I'm super passionate about it. And what I do as treasurer is the fundraising, making sure that we can have some money to put on some cool events this year. And hopefully, you know, even though we're online, we're definitely going to be having cool events. Hopefully, we'll be able to have some cool in-person events as well later in the year. So I'm not a student athlete. I'm just here as a third year. I'm double majoring in statistics and economics. I'm interested in data analytics, and that's the field that I hope to go into, sports data analytics. It's something that I'm super passionate about, and I'd love to work for an NHL team someday. And next up is Daniela.
Hi everyone, my name is Daniela Castro Alvarez. I am a fourth year political science major. I am serving as the director of public relations. So I handle like social media and all that stuff. I am like a half student athlete. I mean, I play on the women's club rugby team, so that's something. But yeah, my passion for sports like lies in sorry, I wrote this down. I'm feeling sick, so I had to write everything down. Give me a sec. So yeah, so like my passion for sports lies in helping athletes and organizations use their platforms to raise awareness like the current social issues affecting, especially given like our current political climate and all that. So I would like to pursue like a career in sports, either in like public relations or legal affairs. Still kind of debating that, but yeah, I'm glad to see a lot of you guys here. And next up we have Nick.
Hi guys, my name's Nick. I am a junior business economics and accounting minor. I am serving as my first year as director of outreach. So I basically bring all the speakers that you'll see along with the other people on the e-board. But hopefully you'll enjoy some of the speakers you get to hear later on in the quarter. I am not a student athlete, but I really love sports. I'm a junior associate working for Innovative Partnership Group, which is like a business development and partnership marketing firm. And my goal is to one day be a general manager. The goal is to replace Brian Cashman of the New York Yankees. Don't know if that's going to happen, but that's the goal at least. And next up is Jada.
Hi everyone, good evening. My name is Jada Hart. I am a recent graduate from UCLA with a degree in political science. I finished in winter quarter, and I'm in the same grad program alongside Christina in the Transformative Coaching and Leadership program. I am one of the co-event planners alongside Alicia Bolton, who you will hear from next. And I have a big passion within sports, especially wanting to get involved in the sports broadcasting or sports agency world, as I'm currently interning with Voice in Sports, which is a female platform that advocates for change within female athletics. And I'm really excited to meet you all today, and you guys will get to hear all the important speakers and things that we will have upcoming for you in this quarter. And next, I will pass it off to not only my co-event planner, but also teammate, Alicia.
Hi everyone, I'm Alicia Bolton. I am a third year political science major, hoping to minor in entrepreneurship. Like Jada said, I'm on the tennis team. We actually play doubles together. I, as well as Collin and Christina, I'm on the athletic director's honor roll. As Jada said, co-event planner. And I am a second year e-board member, and I'm not quite sure what I want to do in sports, but that's why I came to this club, so that I could kind of find what I'm most passionate about, because I know I want to stay in sports if pro tennis doesn't work out.
Perfect. Yeah, thank you guys all for introducing yourselves. I think just as important as it is to network vertically, and as we bring in different speakers and things like that, it's really important to also network horizontally, which is also why we created this space, because we really hope to build like this future sports leaders as a whole here at UCLA. I mean, it's a perfect place to do it. And so we'll all get to know each other a little bit more as well as we go through the quarter. But going on to the next slide, we have the playbook, right? So what can you guys expect to see this quarter? We have three main different types of meetings. We have workshops, guest speakers, and field trips. In a I guess, COVID world, the field trips would be a little bit more ideal. We'll see if we can work something out virtually or do something different. But for the different types of workshops, we offer, no matter what stage you are in your like idea of where you want to be for your career, whether you know exactly what you want to do or you have no clue, honestly, it's okay. That's why we're here. And we have workshops for all stages, really. So we'll have different resume workshops. Whether you have a resume, we can work on that with you, or even just how to sharpen your resume for it to stand out in competitive interviews and jobs and internships. We'll do LinkedIn and interview process types of workshops, career exploration. Like I said, if you don't know exactly what you want to do, but you know you're passionate in sports, that's an amazing start already. So we have a bunch of different types of workshops. Like I said, we bring in guest speakers, our main form of meetings, and we'll bring in a wide range of guest speakers. So as you guys have noticed, this is the Bruin Sports Business Association. However, if you're interested in sports medicine, whether you're interested in sports psychology, really honestly anything sports law across the board, will bring in speakers accordingly to everyone's interests. I mean, we even bring in a few professional athletes. One year we brought in Karan Butler, a former NBA player, all-star, now announcer, investor, author, amazing guy. And so we'll bring in professional athletes. Like I said, we'll bring in before we brought in the CEO of LA 84. If you guys haven't heard of that, it's one of the largest nonprofits, sports nonprofits in the Los Angeles area. And it's right downtown LA. We also took a field trip there actually last year. We've also brought in speakers from Uninterrupted. If you guys have heard of that, that's LeBron James' sports media platform. We've brought in speakers from the Clippers, a sports psychologist. In the past, we also brought in speakers from the Pac-12 Network, a sports management fellow, and a marketing fellow. We brought in someone from the San Diego Padres. So it's really across the board, a bunch of different sports, a bunch of different professions that we all learn from. Even if you're not necessarily interested in, let's say, sports medicine, we bring in a physical therapist. It's still really interesting to build that network and beneficial to build that network, as well as to learn from them as well, because you never know who they might know at their own organization as well. So it's beneficial usually to go to all of the meetings, really. And then lastly, like I said, we have our field trips. So in non-COVID world, this is a picture of when we went to Nike Los Angeles. So they actually have corporate West headquarters in Los Angeles. Their main headquarters are in Beaverton, but they also have headquarters actually in Los Angeles as well. So we took a field trip there. And of course, that's the playbook, but we have a few trick plays as well. One of them that we're going to do a little bit later today, or shortly, really, is a trivia. But to keep things interesting too, because we are business, but we also have some fun as well. So we'll have debates, trivia, and different socials to engage kind of throughout the quarter as well. So we'll throw those in there too, alongside some of the meetings. So we'll keep things fun and interesting. Usually for the different socials too. I mean, last year we went to TLT, which is in Westwood, amazing Mexican food if you guys have been there. But we'll also this year in a COVID world do different things like movie nights and things like that to basically keep everyone engaged and safe virtually as well. So now going into the attendance policy as well. This is something that's important to recognize for if you want to go on the field trips that we have and different things like that. We'll also give out different prizes, but we enforce this because we can't bring everyone to, let's say if we go back to a Nike headquarters, or if we go to a Dodger Stadium or whatever, we can only bring a certain capacity. So we built this attendance policy not only to enforce that, but also to basically pull from that to be able to choose who can be able to participate in the field trips as well. We'll have priority. So the point system will basically work. I mean, congrats, everyone that's here will already get 2 points for their attendance. Make sure you fill out that attendance form that Collin's going to be putting in the chat as well if you haven't filled it out already, because you'll just get 2 easy points just for being here today. But basically you get 2 points for attendance. If you repost any of our social posts, if you don't follow us, it's at UCLA Bsba on Instagram across all socials. But if you repost on a story, just something as simple as that, that can get you a point. if you meet with a board member, let's say you can't make maybe one meeting for one reason or another, you can always reach out to our email, Instagram. Actually, email will probably be preferred. So that's bruinssba@gmail.com. Once again, we'll throw all of this information as well throughout this conversation in the chat. But you can always reach out, email us, say you couldn't make it or you can't make it this week. And we can also give you a recap of different things. You can also meet with a board member if you're struggling, you want extra time to help on your resume or different things like that. We can try to coordinate with our schedules to help you guys there, because we really just want to be a resource for everyone in this club and to achieve and get to where they want to get. So that's exactly what we want to be here for. And that's what we want you guys to reach out to us for. And then lastly, this is a huge point booster. If you're able to reach out to a speaker. So like I said, we have a bunch of different speakers that come in, and maybe let's say, someone that could be an amazing speaker. And that's kind of like the power of networking. The amount of more people we have in the club, the larger our network really grows. So if you know someone, that works in the sports industry, that could be a really strong speaker for us, definitely reach out. We'll definitely obviously accommodate with all those additional points as well on that end, because that's obviously an amazing system as well. So I'll stop there for now before we get into our little trivia. But does anyone have any questions? You can ask, you can throw them in the chat, whether it's anything I said or anything else that you guys might have questions on.
Grandpa Bayless.
Yeah, I got a question.
Yeah, go ahead, Jonathan.
So I'm a freshman and I haven't been introduced to especially because we're not on campus and stuff, like any connections or how to network and stuff. So I'm curious, how'd you guys get all them internships at like Nike, Under Armour, and different like media outlets and stuff?
Yeah, I guess I can answer that. So for me personally, like I said, I had created a media platform, and networking is honestly in the beginning and getting your first internship, as a lot of people will probably I guess like seniors might be able to speak to this, but it's pretty tough to get your first internship and really get your network started. Once you get it started, the doors open up. I mean, hopefully, I guess with Bsba, that will facilitate all of that for you. I kind of had to go a different way. There's always a third door. So once I created my sports media platform, I was able to find a mentor that was a UCLA alumni, kind of unconventionally. She was a sports broadcaster. Her name's Carrie Champion. If you've heard of her, she's on ESPN, or she was on ESPN. And we were able to meet her just kind of almost by chance. And we saw her somewhere, and me and my other co-founder went up to her and asked in public if she could be on our show, basically, that we just started on YouTube. It worked out. She ended up basically facilitating more conversations with us, following up, ended up being a mentor. And from that, I basically ended up just taking that more of an aggressive approach towards my career. So when I got my first internship with Under Armour, I had reached out, and not only applied, I reached out via LinkedIn to other people who had worked at Under Armour, try to see if I could get a letter of rec. There always has to be something else at a company like Nike or Under Armour that you do something additional. So I reached out to a bunch of people on LinkedIn that were alumni. Maybe they could help me out. And that actually worked. I got a letter of rec basically for the internship, and that got me to the recruiter. And then of course you still have to position yourself or be able to speak on your story. So I was able to do that well, I guess, enough in the interviews, end up getting that position. And once you get your first internship, honestly, it becomes a lot easier. So surprisingly, the Nike one was a little bit easier. Still had to do the same thing, reached out to people who had worked there, kind of found someone in Nike LA, because I'd worked in a Nike store before, just found literally every angle and was able to get that one. So it kind of is like a domino effect once you get your first, especially as a freshman and sophomore, or really any undergrad. It's a little bit tough, but that's what we're hoping to also offer at Bsba, is when we bring in these speakers, we hope you guys can stay in contact with them as well, and be able to build that network. If that answers, kind of a long way, but that's answers your question.
Yeah, also, just to piggyback on that a little bit, Jonathan, we're gonna have entire workshops dedicated to that, where we're really gonna dive into the nitty gritty of how to go about that stuff.
Oh yeah, most definitely appreciate it.
A
Go ahead.
light plug. All of the e-board officers have a LinkedIn. So if you make a LinkedIn, you can also add us on there. Also, don't be afraid to reach out to ask us for any advice or anything. We love to help, and we just really want to be here for you guys. So if you can't wait for a workshop and you have an application due next week, then feel free to reach out because we will definitely help you guys with that.
I had a question, Christina, about the Under Armour internship. I'm like from right near Baltimore. So is that like the one where you go and like live in the area in the headquarters? Could you like talk on that? Because that one like I've been looking at for years and it looks so cool.
Yeah, it was super awesome. Both of those, the Nike and the Under Armour internship program, are amazing. They honestly offer a lot of the same things. They like, it's all inclusive, so they fly you out basically. So, and Under Armour was Baltimore, and they also pay for your housing there, and it's a paid internship. It's throughout the summer, which was a huge thing for me as a track athlete. I don't have the flexibility to get an internship really throughout the school year, so I was focusing on a lot of summer internships, which is when most companies have those programs anyway. But yeah, so it was an amazing opportunity. I leveraged the point of going to UCLA in the interview process, and I knew we had just signed with Under Armour that year I was applying. So that's something definitely to speak on. And that's an advantage you'll have too if you apply for that. But going into that internship too, I mean, they brought in, I would say, about 100 interns. So it's pretty large. But I mean, there were a decent, maybe like 10,000 applicants, so it gets a little sticky. I definitely know a few people, like some of my managers that might still be there, that I can try to connect you with as well. That would go a long way. But yeah, it was an amazing opportunity. I was a sports marketing intern, so I was working day to day basically to help prepare anything our Under Armour athletes at that time needed, just professional athletes. And so from a bunch of different sports on the women's and men's side, whether that was making sure their gear was sent out, whether that was making sure their events, anything that they had to be at, I was able to go to. And I think one of the most fun part of that experience was they actually flew me out to Chicago during that internship to do an event because they have a Chicago store, Under Armour store, and they had a bunch of their like roster of influencers and some athletes go, and they had a really cool event. So I was in Chicago for like 3 days, which was super fun. But yeah, that's like a 3-month long, basically the length of a quarter at UCLA internship. Is super great.
Did you do that during like going into your senior year or junior year?
Yeah, it was going into my that was going into my junior year. It's mostly like they hire a lot of internships like that. They hire a lot of juniors going into their senior year. But I was able to get it also my sophomore. Yeah. So, but really, I mean, if you're sophomore, junior, senior, they're definitely still looking for applicants that way too.
And then also about the, like, if we have someone that could be a speaker, how would we go about like bringing that?
Yeah, definitely reach out to us just via like email. So like that's like bruinsba@gmail.com. We'll send all that once again.
Or you could reach out to me, actually. I can drop my email in the chat because I handle that stuff.
Okay.
Yeah. Nick would also be a great resource for that.
Thank you.
So yes.
Yeah, and also guys, worst comes to worst, is DM us on Instagram or something, seriously.
Yeah, we're pretty quick with the replies. Any other questions? Also, one thing I forgot to mention, which is somewhat important. So with the attendance policy, like I said, that can help chances for like different field trips or different things like that. But also we're giving away different prizes. So one example is I have this backpack. It still has like a tag and everything because I never used it because our season got canceled. And so I decided I'm not going to use it this year. So I'm going to give this away too. So prizes like this also will be given away. It's a track and field UCLA backpack, which is pretty cool. And so we'll be able to like ship that out. And so that's something that we'll give to people who have like the highest amount of like points and attendance throughout the quarter as well. Any other questions? These are all good questions. And if you have any more too that come up later, you can always email us, DM us as well. Okay, if that's it for now, then we'll go on to our trivia, which Alicia is going to share screen for a Kahoot for us. So get ready, pull out a phone or